Come along with us here at the Carousel of Douglas as we help you have a great day at the movies by avoiding these mistakes at Hollywood Studios. Welcome back to the Carousel of Douglas. We're really glad to have you with us on our journey here through the don't do's in Disney World. We have a number of videos that are already out on Epcot, Animal Kingdom, and trip planning mistakes. You should really go check those out when we're done with this video. They're really going to help you out on your trip. But today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite parks, Disney's Hollywood Studios. And we're going to get into certain things that you should avoid doing in order to make sure that you have an excellent day. Let's get started. All right, we're gonna get the obvious one out of the way. As you can tell by my shirt, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. Have been since the very first movie I remember seeing was Return of the Jedi back in 1984. It was one of the very first movies I ever went to. And you need to make sure that you understand that Rise of the Resistance is super difficult to get on right now. They recently opened the line, they stopped the virtual queue, and in order for you to really get on it, there's really only two ways. You either buy a Lightning Lane through Genie Plus for the individual attraction selections, or you rope drop it and get there, because that ride time is not going down throughout the day, even at the end of the day. You're going to spend a long time in that line if you don't rope drop it. So either you need to get to the park extra early and go straight for Rise of the Resistance, or you need to get that Genie Plus individual attraction selection. And if you're gonna do that, you really need to be staying on the resort property, because resort guests get it at 7 a.m. and pretty much all the complaints I'm seeing online are people who are not staying on resort property, having to wait till 9 o'clock, and there's no Rise of the Resistance boarding passes left over on Genie Plus. So you need to make sure that you're going for that. Now, when you used to be able to get into the virtual queue, it was a lot easier. There was a specific time and everybody had to do it and everybody had a shot at it. But now, because Genie Plus being offered for resort guests first at 7 a.m., they're getting the passes onto the Lightning Lane for that first. But if you can't get the Lightning Lane, make sure that you rope drop Rise of the Resistance. I mean, that ride is a technological marvel. It's incredible. It's part thrill ride, part dark ride, part storytelling. The queue is part of the ride. You just need to make sure that you get on that ride. Don't miss it, but you have to make sure you take the steps in order to do so. Highly recommend it. Be prepared though, because it's such a technological marvel, it breaks down a lot. But either get it through Lightning Lane or rope drop. Either way, you're not going to wait in a long line. But if you try to get on it normally, that line can be upwards of 2 to 3 hours of your park day. The next tip we're going to give you is that you don't want to miss some of the old school attractions that are available in the park. The Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular and Muppet Vision 3D are 100% worth your time. Now, currently, Indiana Jones is doing a modified version. They're not having the guest cast come from the audience right now. I'm gonna throw in a little tip that I gave in one of my vlogs. So this is what you have to do. When they point at your section and say, "Hey, who over here wants to be in the show?" You stand up and go, "Me!" as loud as you can, and they will always pick you, every time. Michelle can confirm, I have done this 4 times and gotten in the show. So if you want to be in that show, that's what you have to do. You have to completely embarrass everybody around you, but you do it, you're in. Yeah, that tip is about how you get into that show, and trust me, it works. Much to Michelle's embarrassment, but it does work. The other thing is that Muppet Vision 3D is so much fun, and it's interactive, and it's that, like, it's not just that, it's that Disney version of 3D. It's that 4D experience. Like, you have bubbles, and you have different things that happen in the theater, and you have to not just look forward, you have to look around, because the Swedish Chef's in the back, and you have Bean Bunny up in the balcony, and you have Statler and Waldorf, and you have the Penguin Orchestra. You just need to check out that amazing show. It is so much fun, Muppet Vision 3D. But they're also old school Hollywood Studios before it was Hollywood Studios, when it was MGM Studios. So make sure you don't miss those 2 excellent shows. Okay, so the next one is a tip that Michelle asked me to put in. Michelle, as you might have known from watching our vlogs, and if you haven't watched our travel vlogs, you really should. We have a grand old time bringing along with us in Disney World. But Michelle gets motion sick, and there's certain rides in Disney World she will not ride. One of them happens to be in Hollywood Studios, and that is Star Tours. Star Tours inevitably makes Michelle motion sick. She can't really ride it. more than once, and if she rides it even that one time, it's not good. So generally, I will ride Star Tours by myself, or if I'll bring my friends with me, they'll go on it with me. But Michelle will go find something else. She'll go do the Frozen sing-along, or she'll watch the Mickey short. But Star Tours is definitely a ride you should avoid if you're prone to motion sickness, because it might ruin your whole day. But Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, you don't have to worry about it. We actually were very, very worried about it being the same as Star Tours. Michelle says it's like Flight of Passage for her. When there's a couple spots where it like dips and drops, she just has to close her eyes and it solves the problem right away. She says she does not suffer the problems on Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run that she definitely gets on Star Tours. So just remember though, if you get motion sickness, be wary of Star Tours, but you probably have much less to worry about on Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Our next tip is about getting to Hollywood Studios. One of the things that is really incredible that they've just recently opened in Disney World is the Skyliner. And the Skyliner is an incredible mode of transportation. However, if you want to get from Epcot or the Epcot resorts like Beach Club, Swan and Dolphin, Boardwalk, we actually highly recommend coming out the International Gateway at Epcot and walking to Hollywood Studios. Now, we understand that there are some people who just have mobility issues and they want to take the friendship boat, so they want to take the Skyliner, and the Skyliner is incredible, but you will not get to Hollywood Studios faster than you will if you walk there, because the walking trail takes about 10 to 12 minutes at the most. The Skyliner can take upwards of 30 minutes, and if the line's long enough, it can take over an hour. The friendship boat might be a little bit faster, but it makes a lot of stops, and you have to hope you catch the friendship boat because it's not continuously running like the Skyliner. And also, the Skyliner is prone to weather. If the weather comes in, you're definitely not going to go because they just stop moving it. So we recommend, if you're trying to get from the Epcot and park hopping to Hollywood Studios, or you're staying at one of those resorts there, that you walk there on that path. It's actually a really lovely walk, and you'll get there much faster. Okay, our next don't do is actually a couple food tips. The first thing, and we've discovered this being that we are both caffeine junkies. I need tea and Michelle needs coffee in the morning. We both know that Starbucks on the main drag at Hollywood Studios is really, really tempting if you get there at rope drop. We're gonna tell you that much to our own chagrin, you can't stop there during rope drop. The line at Hollywood Studios just packs up the Hollywood Boulevard, and you will have to like fight your way back to your spot. Or if you guys have one person go in and the other person hold a spot, it's almost impossible to meet back up again. We just recommend doing the rope drop, gutting it out without your coffee, or having it at your resort or your hotel or your home before you come in. And then after you've done your rope drop ride, which again, we recommend Rise of the Resistance, that you then go and get your Starbucks at Joffrey's. Starbucks, again, is the Trolley Car Café that's right there on Hollywood Boulevard. And the Joffrey's location that we recommend is actually kind of tucked into the corner by Municiberg, where that dance party used to be. We're hoping that comes back soon, but right before you turn the corner and head towards Toy Story Land, that Joffrey's right there never has a line. And I like getting the mango iced tea. I actually asked them to lower the sweetness a little bit, use a little bit less of the mango syrup personally for me, but that mango iced tea from Joffrey's is great, and you can just get it after your rope drop ride. Our final don't do is actually just a really simple one. Don't be afraid to ask for row number 1 on Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror. The most thrilling parts of both those rides is row 1 in our opinion. Rock and Roller Coaster, most people like to sit in the back on roller coasters. I understand that. You get the most thrill on a traditional roller coaster. But Rock and Roller Coaster is a launch coaster, and you actually doesn't really matter if you're in the back or in the front, but it does matter from a view perspective. That view from the front is just so awesome. You have nothing in front of you. You get to see the whole coaster as you're going through it. Ask for the front row. Now, we always recommend, 1, be nice to the cast members. I say this all the time. Be nice. It's not that hard. Just be nice. And all you have to really say is, hey, do you mind if I wait so I can ride the front of the coaster? Saying it like that will 100% work all the time to allow them to get you on the front row, even when they're incredibly busy. Same thing for Tower of Terror. You ask them for row 1 nicely, they will probably let you wait for a moment and get on. You're only going to miss it by one ride through. Oh my goodness, both those rides load so fast. It's not a big deal. So ask to wait for row 1. Don't be afraid to ask the cast members for that. You can do it in all kinds of rides all throughout the parks, but for those two especially, don't be afraid to ask for it. Okay, folks, there you have it. A quick one today on the don't do's in Hollywood Studios. We absolutely love being able to give you these tips and tricks on how to have an excellent time in Disney World. And right now, we're going through this great series on what you should not do in the parks, just to make sure that you have a great time. Please go and check out the rest of those videos. Hey, we've also mentioned a few vlogs. We'd really appreciate that. This is also the time we would really love it if you could give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That thumbs up has a massive effect on this video and how YouTube sees it, and we really appreciate it. Click the subscribe button if you'd like to see more of our content, and we'd really also love to hear what you have to say in the comments down below. Go ahead and drop them down there. Tell us something you think that people shouldn't do in Hollywood Studios, or something you think that gets overlooked a lot in Hollywood Studios. We'd love to hear about it. I respond to each and every comment personally. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this video today, and as we always say, we don't like to say goodbye because we're gonna see you real soon. So, see you, bye.